What's up everybody, welcome back. So the Ultra League is back in Go Battle League, and in today's video we're going to take the spice to another level by trying out a double dark line, basically featuring the new Comday Brutal Swing Hydreigon along with a shiny Legacy Darkrai with Roserade on the lead in the Open Ultra League. Honestly, I was so desperate to make this team work, and on paper it actually looks pretty good, right? With a poison type on the lead and two dark types in the back, it should ideally work. But the problem with this team comp is that all three of these Pokemon are absolute blast cannons, and with very below average bulk, managing shields with this team comp can be very difficult. And the reason I chose Roserade on the lead over Venusaur is because Roserade is so versatile, especially with access to Weather Ball. It can cover up against Registeel and Melmetal. It can also obviously handle water types and Mud Boys, and also do well against fighters and Charmers, which this backline would be weak to. And I'm going to be using Darkrai as the safe swap to basically bait out those Charmers, fighters and Bug types. And obviously with access to Sludge Bomb, you're going to be able to threaten Charmers. And because Darkrai typically has hard hitting charge moves, most people do tend to shield, and hopefully with that Hydreigon can sweep towards endgame. So there were some really fun battles in here, but there were some really intense and tough ones as well. So let's just get straight into it. So moving on to the first one here, we have Roserade into a Scrafty right now. Obviously this is perfect because Roserade is my only response to a Scrafty. It's just as well that we caught it on the lead, and they go for the foul play. As you can see, that does quite a bit of damage, but we are resisting those counters. I'm going to go for the Weather Ball Shield Bait here. Unfortunately, they call the bait. Now I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm right away, and this is the beautiful thing about Roserade, is that it charges up so quickly that it can take a lot of people off guard. As you can see, Leaf Storm one-shots the Scrafty there. I immediately pivot into my Darkrai to avoid getting farmed down. They come in with their Talonflame. That's fine. We can survive a Flame Charge from this range, and we should be able to get off a Dark Pulse here. Unfortunately, I throw an alignment, which means that they sneak and Incinerate through. That is completely fine because the Incinerate would take out the Darkrai anyway, and it's now up to Hydreigon with a shield advantage to be able to close this out, right? I'm going to shield this up. Hopefully they don't bait. They go straight for the Brave Bird, which they do, and now they make a switch into their Shadow Swampert. Now this is perfect for Hydreigon because we have an energy advantage, and I'm going to go for that Brutal Swing right away here. It does quite a bit of damage against Swampert, and I'm going to look to farm this thing all the way down. Now they have built up to an Earthquake, but I'm going to call it. I'm hoping that this is just going to be a Hydro Cannon bait, as it is right there. And at this point, I'm going to have to shield the second one, and I'm going to look to farm down the Swampert, hopefully get off two Brutal Swings onto this Talonflame. So we should be able to farm down here. I'm going to farm up and hopefully get to a Brutal. This Talonflame is completely dry on energy. So I build up to the back-to-back Brutal Swings. They are still one Incinerate away from the Flame Charge. So I get to the first Brutal Swing here, and I'm able to get to the second Brutal Swing as well. And this is going to do enough neutral damage to take out the Talonflame from this range. So I was actually super stoked to be able to pull off a win in the first battle that I did with this team. But the reality starts kicking in now because, again, it's going to be very, very difficult to get any wins with this team, right? Simply because of how glassy all three of these Pokemon are. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out here. So we have Roserade into an Umbreon. Umbreon honestly isn't the worst thing to see because we can definitely deal with Umbreon. I'm going to actually bank a little bit of energy and try and catch a move on my Darkrai here. So we managed to catch a foul play here, which is resisted. Actually, they go for Dark Pulse, which is okay as well. That's resisted. And now they make a switch into their Surface. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. We want to bait out their fighter so that obviously Hydreigon is a clear path to sweep towards endgame. So they do shield the Sludge Bomb. We get shield advantage. So going to come back with my Roserade here. I'm going to wait out the clock obviously a little bit and then come in with my Roserade. And I'm going to try and go straight for the Leaf Storm this time because we have shield advantage and they have only one shield left. I want to put massive pressure on their final shield, or basically just take out their Surface, right? I was hoping that they would let it go through. Unfortunately, they shield the Leaf Storm, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to have to shield this Night Slash here because that would KO, and I definitely don't want the Surface to go up against my Hydreigon. I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm right away, even though this has been debuffed. Again, Surfetched is glassy and Roserade hits pretty hard, so Leaf Storm is going to one-shot the Surfetched. And I'm going to immediately switch into my Hydreigon, and once again, it's up to Hydreigon with the shield advantage to be able to close out this game. Umbreon is going to go for a move. I don't have to shield anything here. Any one move we can easily tank. Unfortunately, they are running Last Resort. I was hoping they were running Psychic, but that's okay. I'm going to go for the Flash Cannon right now to do quite a bit of neutral damage. It's not going to do enough, obviously. It's going to do quite a bit of against Umbreon, and they have another Swampert in the back. Unfortunately, this time around, we don't have the energy advantage, and because of that, Swampert is going to be able to outpace, right? I have to shield Hydro Cannon even though that's resisted. Hydreigon is just extremely glassy in Ultra League, and I'm going to go for the Brutal Swing right now. Unfortunately, it's not going to do enough damage. I mean, if this was a Shadow Swampert, then we could take it out with Dragon Breath. I tried to switch in my Roserade to catch a Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately, they don't throw right away. They farmed up just a little bit more so that they could outpace my Hydreigon, and they're able to get to another Hydro Cannon, and that's going to take the win. My only win con there was basically just farming the Swampert all the way down and probably landing another Flash Cannon on the Umbreon, but I guess Umbreon was pretty close to a move, so I guess they had that for the most part. Moving on to the next one here, we have a Walrein in the lead. This team is kind of ABA weak to Walrein, so I can't necessarily switch out. I mean, even Darkrai honestly doesn't have a great matchup against Walrein. So I'm going to shield the Icicle Spear here, and then I'm going to bait with Weather Ball. And then at this point, when as soon as I bait with Weather Ball, I'm going to try and get to this Leaf Storm here. Unfortunately, I think this ends up being a CMP tie. As you can see, they get to a Weather Ball, they get to an Icicle Spear there. I'm going to have to shield this up, and I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm right away. Again, making them think this is just another Weather Ball. This is where Roserade can really trick opponents into basically, I mean, the energy generation that you get and how quickly you can get to Leaf Storm can catch a lot of people off guard. I immediately pivot into my Darkrai. They have a Talonflame in the back. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here, and they let that go through, which is huge for me. But this is still unfortunate because, again, Talonflame is absolutely devastating with the shield advantage, right? Unfortunately, they're going to be able to farm down here, and they are basically 2 Incinerates away from a Brave Bird. So I need to really be able to farm down with Hydreigon before they can get to another Brave Bird. Can we farm down? We fall just short. They're able to get to a Brave Bird with like 1 HP there. Brave Bird just one-shots the Hydreigon, and then Roserade comes in. They make a switch into their Trevenant, and yeah, I decided to concede the match. Honestly, if I preserve my Hydreigon, I could have easily taken down the Trevenant because Hydreigon is probably one of the hardest counters to Trevenant in the game. As you can see, I mean, even though we had like favorable matchups, we still weren't able to pull it off there. So moving on to the next one here, we have Roserade into a Cresselia, which isn't the worst matchup, but I'm going to switch into my Darkrai because we have 2 Dark types in the back. They make a switch into their Swampert. Now this is fine. I'm going to be able to get to this Dark Pulse here, and Dark Pulse, they do let that go through, which is actually pretty smart play on their part because they're going to be able to outpace Darkrai, right? They can get to the second Hydro Cannon before I can get to a second Dark Pulse here. So I'm the one who's going to have to give up a shield if I want to maintain alignment. But there's no reason to shield this. I'm going to let this go through because I can come in with my Roserade and get ahead on energy here. So I'm going to wait out the switch clock, come in with my Roserade, and now we should be able to farm down before they can get to an Earthquake. This is just going to be a Hydro Cannon which is resisted. I don't have to shield this, and then we're going to completely farm down here. And let's see what they have in the back. And they actually come in with their Melmetal, which isn't the worst thing for Roserade because, again, these Weather Balls are really going to hit for super effective damage. I'm going to go for the first Weather Ball right now. Does quite a bit of damage. I'm going to overfarm as much as I can. Go for the second Weather Ball here. And I'm going to try and probably catch a Rock Slide on my Hydreigon. But I was actually farming up quite a bit. We are at the third Weather Ball right now. So I'm going to shield this up. They are at the back-to-back Rock Slides. I'm going to try and catch the second Rock Slide on Hydreigon. Unfortunately, they hold on to their energy and they don't throw. I have to let this go through, even though this is super effective. It's not going to one-shot. I do have to preserve the shield for Moonblast, right? Because Moonblast is going to one-shot anyways. So there's no point shielding up the superpower here. Going for the Brutal Swing right now. And we should be able to get to another Brutal Swing before Cresselia can get off 2 Moonblasts here. So I'm going to shield this up. Unfortunately, they bait me with Grass Knot, and that is very smart play on their part. Because they baited me, they're going to be able to outpace and get to the Moonblast before I can get to a Brutal Swing here. And at this point, this game is over. My only win con there was if I needed both shields out of them so that I can come in with my Roserade and get off a Weather Ball and a Leaf Storm. But now I go for the Weather Ball shield bait. They don't even fall for it, and I'm not able to get to a Leaf Storm here. And Cresselia is going to be able to get to a Moonblast and take us out there. So I mean, if I hadn't probably fallen for the bait, maybe we had a chance. But then again, as you can see there, not the best situation to be in. So we have Roserade into an Alolan Ninetales here. Pretty solid lead. But they make a switch into their Drapion. This is where I make a bit of a mistake. I actually should have gone straight Weather Ball because I need to win this matchup, right? Unfortunately, I switched in my Hydreigon with an energy disadvantage. And I let the Sludge Bomb go through, which means that now I'm forced to shield Resisted Crunch. And this is not a good situation to be in because I really need to be winning switch advantage because I do not want my Darkrai on their A9. I need to maintain my Roserade and their Alolan Ninetales here. So I go for the Brutal Swing right here. Obviously, they want to win switch advantage as well. I'm going to have to double shield right now. This is very, I mean, honestly, I definitely misplayed this. I really could have won this game, as you'll see here. I'm going to go for another Brutal Swing, really hoping against hope that they let this go through. But obviously, they're of course going to shield that. And at this point, we've lost switch advantage, which is not good for me at all. And I'm going to come in with my Roserade right now and throw the Weather Ball right away because this Drapion is very close to a move. So Weather Ball will be taking out the Drapion, and hopefully they have another Pokemon that is weak to Roserade. Unfortunately, they have a Cofagrigus. So if I had one switch advantage, I could have lined up my Darkrai against their Cofagrigus. But at this point, there's nothing much we can do. I can go for the Sludge Bomb. This is going to be super effective. But once again, this is the Ultra League, so it's not going to one-shot. And yeah, unfortunately, they're going to be able to farm down as well, which is very bad because they have a Weather Ball right now. I can't afford to throw right away because I need to have that Leaf Storm loaded to throw against the Cofagrigus. And now I'm going to throw the Weather Ball right now. And then hopefully I can get to a Leaf Storm against the Cofagrigus. We're one away here and now we're at the Leaf Storm. But unfortunately, Cofagrigus is able to get to a move. And yeah, I pretty much threw that game. Honestly, if I'd one switch, then we could have had that. Which is why I was like so upset with that team comp. So I decided to switch it up here. I'm using Hydreigon on the lead with Cresselia and Swampert in the back. A little bit more reliable. I mean, Cresselia and Swampert obviously have a bit more bulk to them. So it's fine. So we have a Nidoqueen in the lead. I let the first Poison Fang go through. And now I'm going to go for the Brutal Swing right now. Brutal Swing does get the shield from the Nidoqueen. Immediately switching to my Cresselia here. I'm hoping they switch out as well because I want to have my Swampert matched up against their Nidoqueen towards endgame here. Charge Move is going to be coming through. We don't have to shield a thing here. And then we bait out the Trevenant. This is exactly what you want with Cresselia save swaps. You really want to be baiting out the Trevenant because again, that's going to open up a clear path for Swampert to sweep towards endgame. And also, Hydreigon has such a solid matchup against Trevenant. I'm going to go for the Moonblast here to just chip away against this Trevenant. We do get a shield, which is perfect for me. I'm able to get to another Moonblast as well. They're probably going to be able to farm down completely, which is not ideal. But again, Moonblast is going to do quite a bit of damage here, right? And then I'm going to try and get to a Grass Knot here. I'm able to get to a last second Grass Knot. I don't know if I would have made the Moonblast, but then again, just wanted to do as much chip damage as I can. At this point, this Trevenant is absolutely loaded on energy. They probably have 100 energy right now. And Shadow Ball, even though resisted, would KO from this range. So I'm going to shield this up. Unfortunately, it ends up being a Seed Bomb shield bait. I'm going to try and farm it down. This time they get to a move. And I cannot afford to go down 2 shields here. And they go for Shadow Ball. That is incredibly smart play on their part. They baited me and then went for Shadow Ball. But the good thing is I'm going to be able to farm down with Swampert. And they have a Wall Raid in the back, as expected, right? If they have a Trevenant, they're going to have a Wall Raid in the back. It is the dynamic duo of the Ultra League. But I'm going to go for the Earthquake here. It does massive damage against this Wall Raid. But this is still an uphill battle because Wall Raid is going to be able to get to those Icicle Spears pretty quickly. And I also have to watch out for them trying to catch a move on their Nidoqueen here. I shield the first Icicle Spear. I'm going to let the second one go through. Obviously, we don't have any more shields left. And now they make a switch to their Nidoqueen. I'm going to farm up as much as I can. And then throw the Hydro Cannon just before they can get to a Poison Fang here. And I get to the Hydro Cannon. Now we should be able to outpace Wall Raid. I'm able to get to this Earthquake here. And Earthquake is going to do enough damage to take out the Wall Raid there. So Swampert, I mean, it is perennially OP. This thing is absolutely, and I mean, this thing is the GOAT, right? I mean, I probably should be using it more often when I'm trying out Spice picks because it's almost never let me down here. So we have a Gallade on the lead, which is pretty positive actually. I mean, because we are double resisting those confusions. They've done about 4 confusions. This could be a close combat here, but I shield. Unfortunately, they end up going for Leaf Blade and they make a switch into their Venusaur. Now, honestly, my Darkrai is my best response to a Venusaur because both Cresselia, especially with that moveset, and of course Swampert, don't have great matchups against Venusaur. So I'm going to stay in here and then go for another Brutal Swing right now. And then I'm going to have to shield this because Sludge Bomb would probably KO from this range. So I definitely want to preserve my Hydreigon here. Unfortunately, they bait again with Frenzy Plan. And at this point, I probably realized they could get to a Sludge Bomb, which is why I pivot into my Cresselia. And we're going to soak up the Sludge Bomb here. That's okay. They actually ended up going Frenzy Plan, which is fine as well. I'm going to be able to farm down. And then they actually come in with their Typhlosion. This is exactly why I didn't want to switch and switch lock myself into a negative matchup like this one, because obviously Cresselia has a pretty poor matchup against especially a Shadow Claw Typhlosion. So trying to get to another Moonblast here, but unfortunately they get to a move and we're just about in Blast Burn range right now. So Blast Burn would definitely KO. And then I'm going to come in with my Swampert here to try and get ahead on energy. I'm expecting them to switch as soon as they see the Swampert, right? They actually make a switch into their Gallade. This is perfect for me because we're going to be able to outpace and get to this Hydro Cannon here. And this is probably going to get the shield from Gallade and immediately switch into my Hydreigon to get off this Brutal Swing right now. Brutal Swing is obviously going to do enough neutral damage to take out the Gallade here. And then Typhlosion, I mean, Hydreigon is a pretty solid matchup against Typhlosion, right? Because those Shadow Claws are resisted. Blast Burn would still probably KO from this range, even though that's resisted. But then again, Swampert has a lot of health in the back, and there's no way they're reaching a beam right now. This is just going to be a Blast Burn. And I'm really hoping this is not a Solar Beam here because they don't have enough energy for it. And we survive the Blast Burn and take it out there. So, managed to somehow salvage like a 2-3 set because I switched to the teams. Honestly, if I'd persisted with that same team, I could have gone 0-5 in the set. Honestly, I tanked a bunch of heal. I dropped almost like 100 points with that team. I had like an 0-5 and a 1-4 set. So it was like very, very bad. Honestly, I really wanted to make that team work. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but I probably should have used this team a lot more. In general, I feel like Hydreigon probably isn't the best Pokemon to use for Ultra League because it has a lot of counters and it's very difficult to cover up for all of its weaknesses, right? But then again, it was a lot of fun. Probably it works better in certain other team comps. Maybe if you have a Talonflame on the read, probably something like Talonflame with Walrein and Hydreigon in the back, something like that. Maybe that could work a little bit better. But unfortunately, I don't have an Excel Talonflame yet. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care.